Okay, we are going to go ahead and go through our PowerPoint on vitamins. Again, I apologize if I speak a little quickly, but I don't want these videos to be too long. Okay, so we can divide vitamins up into two different groups: water soluble and fat soluble. So basically, water soluble means that these things essentially dissolve and are carried in water. Because they're dissolved and carried in water, they have a high amount of turnover and they're not stored. They're easily excreted, so you get rid of the extra that you need, the extra that you get, and yeah, they're very easily excreted, which usually means that there's a low possibility of having toxicity. Okay. You can also have fat-soluble vitamins, which do not dissolve in water. They're digested, stored, transported along with fat and stored in the fat tissue. And for this reason, you can actually go longer without having a lot of your fat-soluble vitamins without having a problem versus your water-soluble because you do not have a high amount of turnover. Okay. So I'm really not going to read these entire slides because you can see what's on them. You get what the takeaway message is. B vitamins, one thing you'll notice with the B vitamins is that a lot of them, what they're involved in is aerobic energy production. That's one of the main functions of many of your B vitamins. As you go through the book and as you go through the PowerPoints, I'm not overly concerned with the precise amounts of each B vitamin that you need to have. What I'm more concerned with is there risk for toxicity? Is that risk high or is it low? Is there a need for supplementation for any particular populations? And what happens if you don't supplement, or why do you need to supplement? And or if there's a risk for high toxicity, basically, is there risk for toxicity or deficiency, and should you or should you not supplement? That's really the takeaway message from most of these vitamins, because let's be honest, most of you are not going to calculate your vitamins. Okay, so vitamin B, toxicity risk is low. Deficiency, not very common in the U.S. Okay, so where are you going to find it? Whole grains, legumes, nuts, pork, and fortified foods. You put this and other vitamins. We put this in all sorts of stuff, in all sorts of cereals and breads and things like that. Supplements usually not necessary unless there's a deficiency, and it's very unusual in rich countries, especially the United States. Okay. Riboflavin, a lot of the same things, aerobic energy production. Complications of deficiency could be poor athletic performance, red lips, cracks at the corners of the mouth. Supplementation very easily solves this. Where are we going to find this? Riboflavin is found in yogurt, bread, fortified bread, mushrooms. Again, toxicity risk very low. Supplementation almost never necessary. Niacin, which is vitamin B3, again, aerobic energy production. Okay, your body makes this from tryptophan, and so this is a B vitamin that your body can actually make. Most of these vitamins you do not make. Deficiency is very unusual, especially because you can make it from tryptophan. Toxicity is very rare. You feel you can get flushing, itchy rashes, and nausea with high amounts of B3. You're going to find it in fortified foods like whole grain products. Legumes, fish, beef, poultry. Really high doses of supplements are not recommended because it blocks release of your free fatty acids. So that means you can't free up your fats to use them when you want to, and therefore, if you're exercising, you're forced to use your glycogen. Sometimes the body uses whatever fuel is most readily available, and if you block the release of fatty acids, then it can't use the stored carbohydrate. Interesting thing about niacin is this is in that 5-hour energy drink, if you've ever had that. And if you ever down a 5-hour energy, you'll feel what they call the niacin flush. You'll feel this kind of like the extra blood flow going to your chest and your arms and your face. And you can really feel it. And it's a temporary thing. It goes away rather quickly. And if you have 1 or 2 5-hour energies a day, you're probably not going to get toxicity. But you have 10 of the 5-hour energies every day, or 8-hour energy, or whatever the heck they're called. You could have problems, but just use a little bit of common sense there. Okay, B6, vitamin B6 is found in lots of different enzymes. It's involved in both making and breaking down glycogen. It's involved in synthesis of amino acids, formation of neurotransmitters. Very important. Deficiency is really rare in the U.S., but it is a little bit more common in the elderly. They don't absorb it as well. Toxicity, you can actually have irreversible nerve damage with high levels of toxicity. So that's the downside of high amounts of supplements with this. You're going to find this in high protein foods, whole grains, rice, starchy vegetables, bananas. Supplements unnecessary for most people, could be dangerous in excess though. Okay, B12, also known as cobalamin, it's important for the nervous and cardiovascular system. The problem with B12 is that it's found only in animal products, and we tend to fortify soy products with it in the U.S. But if you are a vegetarian, or especially if you're a vegan, you'll need to supplement with B12. Okay, very important. Or you're going to get anemia, which is abnormal blood cells, and it could lead to decreased performance in athletes. Risk of toxicity is low for people that eat meat, but supplementation may be required for vegans as well as older athletes. Okay, folic acid is the form of folate we use in fortified foods, and we find this in all sorts of different fortified foods. Again, cereals, breads, and that sort of thing. So it's very important for DNA synthesis and cell division. So it's really important that all women who are pregnant or may become pregnant supplement with this vitamin, with folate. Okay, and the thing is, you've got to supplement with it before you become pregnant, because if you have an inadequate amounts, the fetus can develop what we call a neural tube defect. It's basically a problem with the spinal cord, and if you find out after 4 weeks that you're pregnant, you're like, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm going to start taking prenatal vitamins. That's too late. So all women who are pregnant or who become pregnant need to supplement with folate. Okay. So folate deficiency for athletes is going to have decreased performance, fatigued, sometimes similar to B12 deficiency, the way it shows. Toxicity is very, very rare. You'd have to take very high amounts of it to have any toxicity. You're going to find it in leafy green vegetables, liver, fortified foods. But again, always remember that women who are pregnant or who may become pregnant need to supplement with this. Okay, biotin is a vitamin involved in energy production, cell development, and DNA synthesis. There's no RDA for this. But 30 micrograms a day is accurate. That's a teeny tiny amount. Deficiency, very rare. Toxicity, you don't really find it. Pantothenic acid is another one. It's involved in creating ATP. So again, you'll see that again and again. Almost all of these vitamins are involved in aerobic energy production. Deficiency of this is very, very rare, and toxicity is never really been observed or documented. Excuse me. Okay. Choline is a vitamin-like compound that's involved in formation of neurotransmitters. Supplementations may help with fat oxidation, right? So it may help you break down fats, which would make you store carbohydrates, which would be good for athletic performance. And this is one of these supplements that you'll find in lots of these energy drinks and things like that they sell in gyms. Saying, lots of the fat burners, things like that. Oh, you're going to burn more fat with this. And it's possible that you may burn a little bit more, but I don't think the jury's quite out on that. Where are we going to find this stuff? Egg yolks, liver, nuts, milk, cauliflower are examples. Deficiency is very rare because your body makes it naturally. Toxicity is also toxicity is a possible danger with this at levels greater than 3,500 milligrams a day. So you look at what the adequate intake is, and that's 5 or 6 times the adequate intake. So you have to be really taking some large amounts of supplements to get this. Then the downsides could be low blood pressure, fishy body odor, and diarrhea. So those are pretty good reasons not to take too much choline. Okay, vitamin C. Vitamin C is an antioxidant, and antioxidants protect us from free radicals, right? So you can think of the free radicals as these molecules that are going around, and they have an extra electron that they just want to give away, right? And they want to give it away. And when they give it away, that causes problems for these other molecules. So you can think of antioxidants as molecules that grab that extra oxygen before it can cause trouble and damage anything else. If you think of a free radical like a troublemaker, like a troublemaker that's going around causing trouble, wrecking stuff, all right? And the antioxidant is the vitamin or the other molecule that basically calms that person down, right? So they won't cause any trouble. It says, hey, buddy, come over here, relax, no reason to cause any trouble, give away your electron to somebody else, all right? So that's one of the main things that vitamin C does. It's also important for collagen formation, which is Collagen is in your fibrous tissues like skin, tendons, teeth, muscles, right? It's also very important for immune function, protection against heart disease, and in hormone production. So 90 milligrams a day for females, 75 milligrams a day for most males. Deficiency is rare in the U.S., okay? But, you know, what do you get when you're deficient in vitamin C? You get scurvy, right? Pirates used to get it. Sailors sailing across the Atlantic Ocean, when it would take months, would get this until the English learned that you could take a few oranges and prevent it. Get bad skin, gums, teeth when you have vitamin C deficiencies. Toxicities are really, really rare. Part of this reason is because large intakes aren't absorbed well, and you just basically you poo it out is what happens. It can give you diarrhea if you take it in really large amounts, and so you just don't absorb it. And that also causes a problem with malabsorption of other things. Okay, so where are you going to find it? You're going to find it in green leafy vegetables, kiwis, cabbages, lots of vegetables. Green and brightly covered vegetables is where you're going to find this stuff. Okay, supplementation does not appear to help unless you have adequate status for anyone. It's really easy to consume multiple times the RDA with just, you know, a grapefruit and a glass of orange juice and some vegetables. Vitamin C does aid in iron absorption. So when people are low on iron and we have them taking iron, we also have them include vitamin C with that. But the important thing is that vitamin C does not help with colds. It absolutely does not help cure the common cold. In fact, the makers of Airborne, that supplement that was made by a school teacher that suggests that it cures the common cold, they lost a large class action lawsuit for suggesting it does, and they had to pay a lot of money. Now, their current ads, I think, are still a little bit sneaky. They still kind of suggest that it cures the common cold, and I'm surprised they're not in trouble for that. They found a way. It's like they push it just a limit on that, but just know that vitamin C absolutely does not cure a cold. It does not, under any circumstances, cure a cold. Okay, now we're going on to our fat-soluble vitamins. So our fat-soluble vitamins are going to be vitamin A, for our first one. So it's found in 3 different forms: retinol, retinal, and retinoic acid. It's involved in eyesight, cell differentiation. 900 to 700 micrograms is the RDA, so very small amounts. So supplementation does not really appear to help. And in rich countries, people get plenty of this because it's fat soluble and we store it. Okay, toxicity. It's very rare, except in cases of megadosing, and in that case, you could have blurred vision, limb damage, or even death. And this could occur at over 3,000 micrograms a day. Look at what's recommended, 900 to 700. So you have to be taking massive amounts of this to have these bad problems. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is something that your body makes from sun exposure. Very, very important for bone growth and development. It's probably the most important vitamin for bone growth and development. RDA is low. No vitamin D is needed if you have enough sun exposure, but deficiency may occur with no sun exposure or not enough. If you live in a climate, if you live in Alaska where you only get sun occasionally, then you need to make sure you get it through your diet or supplement rather than get it through the sun. But here in San Diego, most of us are good. Somebody asked a question about cultures where women are frequently covered up, and they may also need to worry about vitamin D deficiency. You can get toxicity if you have 200 times the RDA. And this can cause high blood calcium, which really depresses your nerve system. It can give you weakness and heart problems and kidney stones. It's very, very bad. Okay, so you're going to find it with sun exposure, fortified dairy products, fish, liver. Supplements usually not necessary unless you live someplace where you don't get any sun and you don't get it in your diet. 15 minutes a day and your sun exposure on your face and hands is enough. Okay, I'm running out of time. This video is rubbing up against 15 minutes, and 15 minutes is my limit. So we're going to finish the rest of our vitamins in another video. So you can check that one out.